Hi folks, I have one of these LED lights. It's not really old. Maybe it's about 2.5 months old. I think I paid $18 for it on sale, half price. And it just decided to stop working. So I pulled it all apart and check out the circuitry on it just to see if I could see maybe the reason why it stopped working. And I got really close. Some of the chips on this little circuit board here are very tiny. So I used a magnifying glass and went through it thoroughly. And I discovered that one of these resistors here, I'll show you if I can. This resistor here, it was exposing itself to have a very strange looking connection. So I took my finger and I touched it and it basically popped right off. And I'll show you with the pen here. See, I moved it. It's a really tiny little resistor. So I cleaned up the connection and I'm just going to solder it basically back into place and the light will be back to being okay. Probably took me a whole, well, maybe 5 or 10 minutes, and it's going to take me another whole, maybe a minute to get that soldered back on, which I won't show. Everybody knows what soldering's about, and if they don't, they can do some YouTube searches and find out what soldering's all about. But it's going to be difficult because of that size of it. It's so tiny. But slowly and with some patience, it's able to be done carefully. And then the light will be back to okay. So you don't always have to throw something away when something stops working. Taking a little peek at it, especially if you're inclined and you're that type of person that likes to, monkey around with something or see if they can't fix it, or you can just dispose of it too. But I'm going to choose to repair this little chip on there. I'll solder it back in place and end up with a light again. They work really good. They're really bright. I can't remember the watt. How many watts the light is, I don't remember that. I think it was 18 watts if I remember right, but I'm not sure. Used it every day and it worked really good and it really supplied a lot of light. But then all of a sudden it just didn't supply no light anymore. A very easy fix. Without the magnifying glass, I never would have been able to see or detect. And even with the magnifying glass, it took some really good studying to see what was going on, because it didn't really display itself that clearly, but it displayed itself compared to the other ones. It wasn't quite looking to be right. So I solved that problem, and that's the culprit right there, that little thing there, that little speck, about the size of a grain of rice, I guess. Well, thank you for watching. Subscribe if you have not, and thank you very much for those that have already.